Afternoon YouTube. So it's Sunday today and I'm more or less doing exactly the same as what I did last Sunday, because me and Mrs. Rattlesnake went to the boot fair this morning and then we picked James up, went for a few pints, and now we are back here. Them two have gone to cook a nice roast Sunday dinner and I have come into my room to try and fix something. So when I got in here and I thought, right, what needs doing? Just sitting on top of the pile was this realistic, so it was the easiest one to get to. So I know this realistic might have jumped the repair queue a little bit, because I probably have got some that I've had longer than this one that I haven't done yet. But they would have been sitting at the bottom of the pile. Like I said, the realistic was sitting right on top, so that's what I'm doing. And this is a realistic STA-20 receiver. It is from 1975 and it is an absolute monster because it is 7 watts per channel. And I bought this one off the computer. It was just listed as untested, sold as seen. I think it came from a house clearance or something like that. So this one could have a load wrong with it, or it might have nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I went up the boot fair today, so I'll show you what I bought up there. I did buy a set of speakers as well, but I also bought these, look, nice Stanley professional pliers, 20p. Nice Stanley electrical Phillips screwdriver, 20p. So they was bargains, especially them pliers, 20p, Stanley professional pliers. And I bought that tin, look, 50p, that tin that I put my tools in. So look, we're getting all professional now. Rattlesnake Workshop is going all high end with the new tool tin and a pair of Stanley professional pliers. So this one, it was just sold as seen as untested. And you can see why it hasn't been tested, innit? Because you'd have to change that plug to test it, so obviously the seller couldn't be bothered. And look at that little plug there, that must have been on there donkey's years. Be a shame to take that off, but I'm going to have to because I've got nothing I can plug that into. So let's open it up and see what this little receiver's like inside. So let me get my new bargain 20p screwdriver. Oh, and it handles so well. That bloke was selling things too cheap on his stall. I would have happily paid 30p for that. So there's just 4 screws on the bottom of this where them gold squares are. So just take the 4 screws out and the amplifier should slide out of the cabinet. Hopefully. It didn't look like it had any screws holding it at the back. It just looked like it's going to be these 4. Right, so that's all the screws out. I'll pop them into Spider-Man. And let's see if it feels like this is going to slide out. Yeah, it does actually. That's going, look. So let's turn it over and then hopefully it should come sliding out the front here. Yeah, look, no worries. Cool, that looks nice and clean in there. Look at that. That looks really clean inside this realistic. Just pop the lead through. Right, so the cabinet's off. It was just them 4 screws. So I'll just put the cabinet out of the way, and there you go, the little realistic. She looks so clean in there. That's a bit strange because the inside looks like someone's been in there cleaning, but then the outside is filthy. See, and there's the cabinet there, made up. It's all nicely glued together. That's a nice made little cabinet on this one. Nice air vent at the bottom there. And that's nice condition as well, that cabinet. So let me get the camera and we'll get in there and have a better look at it. And you see, look, it's so clean in here. It's immaculate inside this one. It is sort of like a sealed wooden cabinet with the air vent underneath, so someone might not have been in here cleaning, because this is quite a hard one for dust to get into. But you would have thought it would be dirtier than this, wouldn't you? Look at it, it's spanking in here. So let's turn it over and I'll show you the other side, and that's just as clean as well. Look at the underside of it. It's immaculate in there as well. Look, all that lot looks brand new. And I'm just looking at the pots there. Oh, it's easy to do the pots on this realistic. You haven't even got to take the front off, look. That's the selector one there. I can do that from the underside here, no problem. You can do everything. That's all you got to do. Slide this realistic out of the cabinet and you can deoxit this one. So well done, realistic. You have made this one really user friendly, service friendly. Because look, I can get into all the switches, all the pots, I can do everything from here with deoxin. Oh, I like them when they're like this. They should all be like this. It's just easy to maintain. Because what was that last one I did? Oh yeah, that Marantz. With that one, I had to take the whole front off, take the whole thing apart just to do the pots. So just look how easy this realistic is. You've got to take nothing apart, you just take it out of the cabinet and you can deoxin everything. So the first thing I'm going to do with this one is, let's have a look at the fuse, test the fuse on it. It looks like it's only got one fuse on it. No, actually, look, it's got no fuse on it. There is not even one in there. It's not broken half in there, is it? No, nothing in there. So it's got no fuse in it. So even if someone had plugged it in, it would not have worked without a fuse in there. And I doubt anyone has plugged this old receiver in for years. Not with that old plug on it. That old plug is so old, no one's got plugs like that in their house anymore. So I really don't think this would have been plugged in for a long time. Oh, and look at the little plug in it. It hasn't even got screws. Oh, it's not push out. No way, look at that. You just push the prongs up and take the wires out. No way, look, that's an easy, I've never seen one of them. That is an easy fit plug. Look at that. Looks like two split pins. So you just pop your wires in. You don't even have to do no screws up, look. Push them in and do that. And that's it. Quick fit plug. Take you like 30 seconds to put a plug on. Push them in. Pop it down. Look, you fitted the plug already. Don't even need a screwdriver. You just screw the cap on and there you go. Blow yourself up. It's not very safe, that is it? Look, you just pull them out. That's not making a good connection on an amplifier, is it? It's alright on your bedside lamp, a little quick fit plug, but not on an amplifier. That's going to be making a terrible connection. I bet this realistic had more hum than music coming out of it with that plug on it. And I bet the poor person who owned this must have thought every album they owned had backing singers humming along in every track. And then I bet they'd go round their mate's house and their mate would have the old hi-fi on. And they'd go, oh, I've got this track, but I've never heard this version. And their mate would go to them, never heard this version? I thought this was the only version. What version you got then? They go, oh, I've got the remix version, the one with all the humming in the background. So what I'm going to do first with this realistic is test that the lead's alright on it. Make sure there's no breaks or anything in it. So I get my little tester down, turn it on, And let's see if this lead's good. And also I can find out what's the live on it and what's the neutral, because everything is just black. So if I go to the back of the outlet socket, right, it should be picking something up there, because I can actually physically see that this cable goes onto the back of the outlet socket. Right, let's try the other one, because that one was getting nothing. Right, here we go. Right, so that one is alright, but I couldn't pick nothing up through that first one. And that one there, let's just check it. Right, I think this one is the neutral, because I can pick it up there. Yeah, that's making a good connection, that is. And then if I go up to the back of the on-off switch on the neutral, right, there you go. So this one in my hand is the neutral. So that one I couldn't find nothing on was the live. Right, so this one in my hand here is the live. I just put a little bit of brown tape on that so I know that's the live. If I can find the end of the tape, here we go. Only want a little bit. Just wrap it round the lead. Right, so that one is the brown, or the live wire. Right, here we go. Right, I'm testing from the brown to the back of the outlet socket that I think is the live. And look, it does make a connection, but a really bad one. So I think there might be a little break in that lead somewhere, or that connection is dodgy on the back of the outlet socket. So let's test back from the fuse to the on-off switch, find the live, and then I can test from the live of the on-off switch back to the back of the outlet socket. And that'll tell me what's going on there. Right, so let's go on the back of that fuse there. So that is the live going into the fuse. And this would be where it comes out of the on-off switch. Right, there you go. So it's that one buried down there. So let me just move these wires out of the way, make some room. Right, get on that now. So there you go, that is back of the on-off switch, back to the fuse, and there is nothing wrong with that one at all. So that leads fine. So let's go up and test the on-off switch, see if the on-off switch is working. Oh, it might help if I turned it on, innit? That would help make a connection. So let me just move a bit, because that's awkward. I can't see down in there. Right, because it's the very bottom two. So there you go. That is the on-off switch. That is working then, the on-off switch. Try and hold it there and turn it off. Right, let's try and hold them there. Right, let's turn the switch off. Off. Turn it back on. On. Right, so the on-off switch is working like good, and there is nothing wrong with that on-off switch. Right, so now let's test from the back of the outlet socket, the live, up to the live going into the on-off switch, and see what that one's doing. See if we got a good connection there. Right, so yeah, that's good. That is like from the outlet socket up to the on-off switch. That is working fine. So the problem is in that power lead. So it looks like the live side of that power cable has got a problem, or it is that connection there on the back of the on-off socket. It does look very dull, and that the solder, like it might have gone bad, because you do find that a lot with these old amplifiers. That one there is the neutral. That was fine. It was this one that had the problem. If I go on that tiny little bit of white wire there, up to this on-off switch, it was making a connection, so that wire's good. And then I was going from down here on the fuse, the red side, up to that red wire that's buried down there on the on-off. That tested fine. The problem is over there at the back of the outlet socket. So I might reflow the solder on them, that one there and that one there, but that one in particular, because the other one weren't the best connection, but that one's a terrible connection. Or it could still be a break in the lead, in which case I'm still going to have to desolder them joints. Right, so let's try this again. Let's get me tester. Get me probes. Oh, don't knock me tester over. Turn it on. Right, tester's working. So let's go on the live wire and go to the live on the back of the outlet socket. See, there's nothing there. Here we go. Here we go. Right, there is. If I go right on the little tip bit of the black wire, that's making a connection. But when I actually put it on the solder joint, it is not. Right, yeah, I've sort of pulled the sleeving back a little bit on the lead. So I'm right on the copper. Touch it on there, it makes a good connection. So it might not actually be the power lead, it could just be that solder joint at the back of the outlet socket. So I'm going to reflow them two with a soldering iron because the neutral wasn't that brilliant and I can't pick nothing up through the live, because I should be able to test from the live where the plug goes right up through to the on off switch, but I can't. And I did test through the power lead when I got the probe right on the copper. That tested fine. So all it can be really is that connection at the back of the outlet socket. So I'm going to get my soldering iron and flow them again just to see what happens, because it will only take a minute. So I'll just plug my soldering iron in. And at the end of the day, if I reflow them and they are still bad, then I know there is something wrong with that lead. So let's just put my grips down so I don't melt the table while my soldering iron warms up. I'll turn the amp round a bit so I can see what I'm doing. It'll only take a minute for this soldering iron to warm up. It's a good one, this. It's old, but it is a good one. And yeah, like I said today, I went up the boot fair, found a set of speakers. Now they are a little bookshelf set. They're made by Denon. They are model SCM2, like a little two-way bookshelf speaker. They do look pretty decent. They look good. And after a bit of a haggle, I got them for a tenner. So I was well happy with my little speakers. I do think they are a bit of a bargain buy. And they will come on the channel soon, because I shall go through them and check them out and give them a service before I try and use them. So that would have warmed up now. So let's get my little screwdriver so I can hold all the wires in place. And let's just reflow these joints. All you need to do is just re-warm the solder up and it starts working again. It's very strange why it goes bad, but it does go bad. Especially on something like this. This is from 1975. So they're old, these solder joints. And they don't look the best, these joints. If you look round the rest of the amp, all the solder work is really nice, but the soldering on this outlet socket is a bit of a bodge. So I think someone might have had a go at this before. They might have put a new outlet socket on it or a new lead or something, I don't know. But I do think someone's had a go at this solder, because it does not look like the factory joints. So I'll just get them from this side as well, and then I've just reflowed both sides of the joints. So that's all I wanted to do. Let's unplug my soldering iron. I'll put it up here out of the way to cool down, stand it on my grips again so I don't melt anything, and leave it up there to cool down. Yeah, so all I'm going to do now is test right through it. Let's see what's going on. Now them joints have been reflowed. see if we can get better connections out of this. Because I should be able to test right through the on-off switch and everything. I know the on-off switch is working, but I couldn't pick nothing up past the outlet socket from this lead. So the tester's working. Let's go on the neutral first. So put on the neutral. Right, neutral's working lovely, look. Bang, there you go. Neutral's working perfect. Outlet socket, yeah, lovely. So let's find it up here to make sure it's going right through the connection still. Yeah, it's that one there, look. So the neutral is all good. So let's try this live. And remember, this was the bad one that I couldn't get a connection through. There you go, look, bang, good connection. So that solder joint was bad. Outlet socket, there you go, working. Back of the socket working. Right, so let's go up to the on-off switch. If I can get in now, it's that one buried right down there. There you go. Look, right up to the on-off switch. From where the plug goes, bang, that's making a good connection. So that joint was bad. So what I'm going to do now is turn it round and test from the live where the plug goes to the back of the fuse. So that's right through the on-off and everything. So turn it on. Yeah, look at that. On-off switch is working. That's making a great connection from the plug through the on-off right up to the back of the fuse. So I'm happy now with this one really to power it up. I know that it's all going to have power to it right up to the transformer. So that's all I'm going to do in this one, because I'm going to go and have some dinner now. And then I will find a plug, find a fuse, and then I should be back after dinner to go right through this one, do a bit of cleaning and do all the pots with deoxit. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and I shall see you next time.